biggest pop for anyone all day. I'm not even kidding. Biggest pop of the day, right? Oh, man, we're on the West Coast. You already know the vibes. It's happening, man. Raw is going to Netflix. Rey Mysterio, you have been through, it feels like so many different iterations. You were on TNT and TBS way back in the day. You've been on USA. You've been on TNN. You've been on Fox. You've been on everything.
Ray. Even on Ray Network, too.
Yeah. Oh, bro, you've
been Lucha Underground for a while. Yeah. So it's crazy. I've been around.
You've been around. And now you're going to be on the biggest streaming service in the world. How excited are you about Raw on Netflix?
Oh, my God. It's like a new beginning for all of us. And as much as the excitement is and the buzz is going around, for us in the locker room, it's that same excitement, probably even a little bit more intense, because this is like moving up the ladder. We have something new to look forward to. You know, we have to put in all the work at 100%, so we're looking very forward to it.
Do you and your wife discuss your status and future, or you just keep going to work every day, don't think about it? Because when the Hall of Fame came, I'm sure there were some conversations all right, Dom's getting here on his own, I'm into the Hall of Fame, and yet I don't know if it's the way you take care of your body, but everything seems to just be continuing, and you're like LeBron James right now. This doesn't happen very often. Do y'all discuss that very much, or it's just day by day?
Just like they say, never judge a book
by its cover.
Yeah, so I mean, I have little internal aches and pains here and there, but nothing too big, nothing to complain about, nothing that's gonna hold me back, that's for sure. I have been taking advantage of modern medicine a lot over the past couple of years, and I try to stay up to date with everything that comes out and what's new, from cold plunge to infrared sauna to stem cells. But going back to the first question, yeah, my wife and I have talked several times, but for some reason that conversation never ends in something good. So it's like, yeah, I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep going. So yeah, let's keep moving.
But you know what? This just crossed my mind right now. We're used to having a conversation about when athletes normally end their careers, but only in the world of athletics would you be considered an old guy, right? If you weren't an athlete, you wouldn't even be having a conversation about retiring. So it's not as if it's normal to stop working and be home every single day at 50 years old.
I go crazy.
You're not ready for that.
No.
Are you a golfer?
So yeah, I've been golfing a little bit more than normal.
But you're not trying to be the guy who plays 4 days a week yet.
No, but that's a sport that I would really love to get into. It really catches my attention. So yes.
We do, Ray, we do have a disadvantage when it comes to the golf.
Our size?
Really? I find it listen, I may just be a bad player, and I am. But I find that the guys I know who can really strike it naturally, yeah, they're usually long. They usually tend to be long guys. Right. Not always. How are you right now?
I'm horrible.
I'm pretty bad
right now. It's funny because we used to play back in the day when we'd go on tour. Taker, Kane. We would all we played one time at a golf course in Ireland. I don't know what the name of the golf course is, but Booker T. It was
Book loves to play.
8 or 10 of us.
John Layfield loves to play.
Yes, Bradshaw. Yes. And I didn't do that bad for the very first time, so I really enjoyed it. And ever since, I've had that little niche of wanting to go back and play, and I have, but I suck every single time afterwards. But I feel like it's one of those sports that it's challenging me, so I want to go in there and dedicate more time so I can learn how to play it and eventually get good. Not great, but good.
It just takes the time, and I've never put in enough of the time either.
I don't mind the drinking either.
No, the drinking's great. It's if you have a sport where you could have a smoke and a drink while you're playing the game,
we're good.
That's a sport. Yes. Now, was there any part I talked earlier with Jey Uso about art imitating life and life imitating art, him and Jimmy being separated, how that really was different. When Dominik first started coming to work, it was kind of like dad bringing his son to work. That's how it actually felt to see you guys together. And then as things went on and the story went the way it went, you guys stopped being together. Was there any level that has been sad or hard for you to kind of have him be doing his own thing, or was that what you were ready and wanted to see him do?
Definitely not mad or hurt because he decided to take his own path. It's almost the nature of the beast, right? That's how life evolves. You have your kids, they grow up, eventually they are going to take off and move on their own. That's exactly how I felt inside the wrestling ring. Maybe I would have thought at the time that it was a little too early, too soon, but I was completely wrong. Look at him now. Look at all the success he's gaining. Look at the confidence booster that he has. Just overall his growth. You know, as a father and as one of his fans, I enjoy watching him in the ring every time. And you have no idea this feeling of gratitude and of I'm his dad. You know, that's how I feel. That's how I feel because it's a normal reaction. You know, I'm proud of him. I love him. And I enjoy the work that he's accomplishing.
Yeah, it's fascinating because you guys being together in that initial run. So Dom is one of my favorites in the business. He knows this. So not to take anything away from the work that he's done, but how much of a factor in terms of him getting the kind of heat that he does, do you think it is that he's the son of such a beloved all-time babyface? Like, do you think that's just a built-in factor for the hatred?
I think it was definitely a triggering point at a certain part of his career or his turn. But then after that, I think now it's mainly based on the mustache. I think the mustache is what the fans hate. You know, I mean, I hate it. I don't know about you.
Dip, he hates the mustache. He hates Dom's mustache. He's always complaining about the mustache. It's got to be the mustache, right?
Got to be the mustache. Not so much the hatred that he has on his father. It's the mustache, yeah.
Are you surprised that it did start to kind of click so quick? And where do you think Dom's 27? Just 27. Dom's 27. How do you compare Dominik Mysterio at 27 to Rey Mysterio, the wrestler, at 27?
It's even hard to compare. Well, 27 Dominik and a 27 Rey Mysterio. Yes, I had already been through AAA, ECW, WCW, and already hanging out, in WWE. So it's a very good comparison. But Dom, from the moment he started up until now, 4 years, give or take, my first 4 years in the business overall, horrible. Like, there's no way I would have been in the spot that Dominik has in 4 years of being in the business. So I can see how much this sport was made for him, and he was made for this. I see his range of motion, his way to connect with the fans, his instinct. You know, overall, he has a great sense of direction of where he sees himself in that particular time, which is something that you can't teach. That just kind of, it happens in the ring. And I think osmosis has occurred for him, over the past 27 years of being around the business, for so long, that just little things just are cemented in his brain, in his head, over the years that are now just coming out, organically, which I think is really cool.
It's the best. It's the coolest thing about it. Did you get a sense when he was little and you guys would just play around? Could you tell that he already could figure out how to do stuff young?
Just like any other kid when he likes to play wrestle, they hit you, they want to jump off, and they want to be on top. They don't want to get hurt. They want to hurt you.
He didn't want to sell.
He didn't want to sell at all. We tell him, hey, sell a little bit, sell. But overall, it came to a point, maybe 6, 7 years old, where he just detached completely from wrestling. And then the storyline with Eddie kind of brought him back in, and then he detached again. And he was doing his own thing. Never pressured, never told him, hey, of course, I had this deep desire that hopefully that one day. But it came on his own terms, and I think that was always a good thing, that I never pushed him or had him pursue, my legacy.
Did your daughter ever consider it in any real way?
She also loves it as much as Dom did. We wrestled a lot, but for some reason she was more on my wife's side. She was the one that liked to study, was very one of those girls that A+ all the time, still to this day, always very dedicated to her education. So she, on the other hand, is pursuing her medical career.
So she still loves the business, just decided didn't want to do it.
She loves it. She still loves it. She loves watching it. She's a big fan. She's a big fan of her brothers, even though they constantly bump heads. But overall, you know, we love watching Dom grow, and family is always going to be united, even when we fight.
Or if you have a huge match, let's say it's WrestleMania, and you and Dom both have really big matches at WrestleMania, would you have more nerves about your match or about sitting down to watch Dom's match?
I think I would be more nervous about my match. But now I've learned to watch him, and it might be some of those nerves where if I know what's going to happen, then I'm just hoping that he can execute a certain move, or if he's going to do a particular move. But I get very nervous on my matches. Me going out there and performing.
More nervous now than you used to, or always the same?
I think more. Well, before I would get nervous, I'd come out and it dissipate, just go away. Organically, I would just go in the flow and move. And now that I've gotten older, it's like the nerves are there, and then when I step out, they're still there. And then when the bell rings, they're still there. I'm like, when is this gonna go away? What the hell? But overall, once I start getting into the rhythm, it kind of just flows. It just dissipates.
Do you believe that the story between you and Dominik is over, or do you think there still needs to be one sort of final story to be told there?
So I don't think that when a father fights with his son, or daughter fights with mom, you know, that's family. That always stays there. That's never going to go away. So eventually, I think if the papers are turned and it's time for us to walk around the corner and we bump heads again, and we have to go at it one more time, let's do it.
What about, could there ever be not only that, but like a reconciliation where we were to see you guys tag together again?
That's something that, as a father, they always would love to have with their kids, you know, to be able to reconnect and end off how you started, you know, on the good side. So I don't know if that's going to happen over the years. You know, people change, sometimes for good, sometimes for bad. Hopefully, one day Dom can see the bright side of being on the Mysterio side and just being family overall. But I think that's going to be very hard.
You are aware, by the way...
I'm just dreaming.
You are aware, by the way, that not only did your wrestling rub off on Dom, but your taste for fine watches has rubbed off on Dom as well.
And clothing.
And clothing. Do you have any concerns? Do you ever, because like you took time to get there. I mean, not everyone can get a beautiful Louis Vuitton denim jacket like this. And now Dom, I know he was very excited. He got a watch for WrestleMania a couple years ago. Do you try to like make, because listen, when you were his age, you had a couple bucks in your pocket.
That's it.
Nothing like Dom's contract right now. So how do you try to teach him when like you didn't have that exact same experience?
No, I think the one thing that we have touched base on in the past is you have to learn how to enjoy your moment and gift yourself something that you're going to cherish and that it's going to mean something to you. So I believe he bought his first Rollie when he had his first WrestleMania. So that was like, that's a token. Every time he's going to look at that watch, he's going to remember WrestleMania moment right there. So enjoy that. You know, at the end of the day, when you die, you don't take nothing with you. You have to live and enjoy the moment, but you also have to learn how to separate your money and take care of your family and your loved ones, right? And I think overall, Dominik has a good wife on his end, and I think they're gonna do incredible.
Yeah, it sounds like she keeps him on the straight and narrow with not letting him go too far.
Just enough where he doesn't go over the edge.
How does the idea of a grandbaby Mysterio sound in the not too distant future?
I think I'm gonna become a grandfather the same day that Dom comes back to my side and becomes my tag team partner again. Meaning, never. That's probably never gonna happen.
Is it hard for you to picture?
No. That's something that I've craved ever since I knew he was gonna get married. Like I knew that eventually he would be the first one to get married, and that I wanted to become a grandfather because I've heard so much about other friends that have become grandparents and how it's like becoming a father all over again, but even bigger. So for those that are dads, when they tell you, wait till you become a father, you don't know what to expect. You hear all this hype, but then when you become a father, you're like, oh my God,
Bro, I'm having my first in January.
Higher expectations than what you could imagine. So imagine that times 10 when you become a grandparent. It's just incredible. So I really hope that I become a grandfather soon.
What advice do you have for me having my first around the corner? What would you suggest? I'm having one in late January.
So one thing I don't regret, and it happened because it had to happen. It was the time that God wanted me to become a dad. I was very young.
I am not.
I know, no, that's a good thing. I was very young, so I didn't enjoy moments that now to me are very special.
Right.
You know, moments that I see happening with other families. So I would say enjoy every day like if it was your last day, and just cherish that moment. Keep those memories alive. Now you have so much to dictate and to track every moment that happens, every special moment. I would definitely do that.
I appreciate you. The great Rey Mysterio. We'll see you on Netflix in January.
I can't wait.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you.